Yeah, so she gave that dog away because she said she had her dog Xena, and her dog was a beautiful Rottweiler, and she was a beautiful dog, such a nice dog, and she had to get rid of her because my aunt, when she went through, like, she went through a lot. She used to be a bigger woman, like not huge, but shapely. And then when her husband was doing what she was doing through to her, and then whatever Mommy Dearest was doing on side note Santeria, she she was, when I seen her, she was a shell of a human being. And by the time she had passed, like, from everything, she had been through everything that she was telling me, but she ended up like kicking me out the house because I wasn't coming home. I didn't want to be home. Every time I was home, there was something. The day my cousin gave me the key to make a copy, which, okay, I'm paying like $800 for a piece of a room. I should have a key. She bugged out. How'd you get in the house? And who do you think you are to just decide you're going to pay me $800? Who do you think you are that you're just going to make a key for yourself? And I'm like, I'm sorry. And the one night I came home and she said, you can't live here anymore. She said, you gotta go. She said, maybe my mom will take you in. I said, okay, fine. I was heartbroken and I, cried. I was a mess, and I went and stayed with my ex for a while. And he was a good guy. He was a really good guy. I was a mess at that time though. Really a mess. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, guy. Sorry, Spanx. Um, yeah, but, yeah, I was a mess. And so I had went to live with him. And when I started living with him, that's when, I started getting abscesses. And from then on, I didn't talk to them for like, yeah, good. It was a good 10 years because I don't think I talked to them until after I went to go see my dad. After I went to go see my dad, which was my 28th birthday, with my fake friend, my frenemy, my frenemy that sold me out, my frenemy that sold me out, that I introduced to my family on that side. She came with me on vacation. You came with me on vacation. I'd do anything for clout. I'd do anything for clout. I will never forget. I will never forget your mother's birthday that day, and me walking in there and you saying, you can sit right here with us. That paints such a picture. Aftermath, after now, after that, after everything. Do anything for clout. And do anything for clout. Oh. So anyhow, right? So she came out with me. I went to go visit my dad after that. And after a while, I went to go visit my grandma and my aunt and my cousin. And when I went to go visit them, it was weird. My grandma said to me, she looks at me and she goes, looks me like in the eyes for a minute, like really gives me a look over and looks into it and goes, you're clean. And I was like, okay, she really didn't know me when I was like doing anything. Like, she was always like against me. Like, everything I was doing, like, was always being scrutinized with her. Like, a lot of other narcissists in my life, it was always scrutinized. I was always, like I said, she would make cutting comments all the time just to hurt my feelings, and would tell me that the phone would never call out, and really never did much or gave me much. I think they gave me they bought me a bed one time when I lived out here and there, and God knows what they've been doing like in the background to make those funds. But yeah, she was like you're clean, and I looked at her like it was so weird. Like, what do you mean? What kind of dirty was I? Because you never seen me like when I was doing anything. Like, so what are you talking about that I'm clean? Like, and it was when I like healed a lot of issues. It was the years, the 10 years that I was away from them, that I healed a lot of issues. And because when I was over there, when I was with my aunt and we had that falling out, we left on bad terms. I ended up calling her when I was living somewhere. I was living in my own place. I lived Osprey Links that time. I ended up calling her and telling her, listen, I'm sorry. for how we ended things. She apologized too, and things just, we decided we were to forgive each other. And here and there, like I never went back again, like until years later. But I would talk to her here and there, as you could see through the messages that I didn't even realize. So like a few months back that I had, which I'm glad I kind of looked at it, because again, it corroborates what I was thinking. Like when they were starting to do the same exact thing, like they didn't even change anything up. And I asked when my dad freaked out, my dad and Claudia both freaked out when I mentioned my aunt, and I had no clue why, because I really didn't ask many details. What do you ask somebody's kid about what happened? Like that, what, how, like I had so many questions, but what do you ask? Like, so it was a good 10 years later, I think, right? Yeah, so what, 2020 something, 2022, was I moved down there? Yeah, 2022, I believe it was October 2022, I moved out that way, and into Rhode Island. But so my dad's reaction, my dad and my aunt's both, their reaction to something I said that must have been from my aunt's mouth freaked them out. Because that, like I said, she flew in and she was like, go stay with, go live with your dad, go live with your grandma, go live with, go here, here, here. They gave me every option or like idea but to go there, right? And I'm to go anywhere else but with one of them. And then I said something. We were all on board, but I had gotten a reading too. And one reading that I got done basically told me, it let me know that Shadow was basically a protector. And if somebody didn't accept him, then there was a problem. And later on I seen this too, and like just how many gifts that cat actually had. That cat had to be like an ancestor, a guide or something, because the way he was, and the way, there was one time when when I was living in the car, I had somebody watching him. So I would pay this girl, when I couldn't find the place, I was working at Friendly's, and I would pay this girl to watch him, right? And there was this old lady with dementia. They would come in every single day and get the same stuff, like a root beer soda or something, and like the same like little meal. So this lady like didn't even basically know her name. They would forget everything. They have dementia, so they basically don't know their name and everything. And she's looking at me and she goes, "Do you have a cat?" And I'm like, I've never met this lady in my life. You have a cat, right? Are you going to get him soon? And I'm like, my God. And I had left the Shadow with somebody for a little bit. I went to go pick him up that weekend. I was like, I gotta take him home. But they said that my cat was basically like, if somebody didn't accept my cat, that was an indicator. And when I was planning to go with my dad, I talked to my father and I said, listen, because they're gatekeepers and protectors as well. So be wary of people who really don't like cats, and find out the reason why they don't like cats. So he freaks out and he goes, you can't bring the cat. I said, huh? I said, okay. I said, okay, I understand. I said, listen, I get it's easy for you to abandon people. I understand you don't seem to care or have no attachments to anything, right? As we clearly see. Yeah, I was like, but I consider him to be one of mine, my kid. I said, so do you think that you can consider taking into account that I will take full responsibility and to at least give it a try, whatever arrangements we need to make, I'll try to do it. But I said I love him and I don't want to get rid of him. And he was like, he wouldn't answer back to that, because basically I've never really like called him out really much before. There was one other time that I called him out when I was telling him things that were going on with my family up here. And he goes, family would never do that to you. That's that old, oh, it's family, it's family, it's family. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you basically left me with people and you just didn't even bother. Like, you didn't even bother to check in and see if I was okay. And you got the nerve, I'm telling you something that I went through, and you got the nerve to be like, okay, fine, you want to think that way? Think that way.